All right, so I'm going to attempt to show you the trick of, actually I should look here, shouldn't I? Attempt to show you the trick that I've been using for probably a year now to shave successfully with a safety razor. And hopefully I didn't lose too much steam, but the first step is to take a steamy hot shower, or a hot steamy shower, I said it backwards. The second step is not to lather up your face all at one time. So I've got hot water going, I've got the sink filling up so we're not wasting a shitload of water. Just fill it up with hot water, and I'll start soaking the badger brush so that it gets more pliable and soft. While that's doing that, we've got straight hot water that's really hot. We're gonna get the face wet with hot water again to open up the pores and keep the skin nice and loose. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do the top down. So the first thing that you wanna do is get the mustache wet, like really wet. And then I'll do a separate review of the equipment that I'm using, but today I'm using the ProRazzo, whatever, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's pretty good shaving cream. Just take the badger brush, and I don't even use a shaving bowl, I do it directly in the can, get it nice and lathered up. And then the trick that I use is not to do the whole face at one time, because what happens is it cools off and it dries out. And when that happens, in fact, I'm re-wetting the area with extra hot water to open up the pores and make it soft, because I suffer from really bad razor burn, and this is one of the things that really makes a difference. So we'll just do the mustache area, maybe right here, like that. Put that aside. Make sure and dip the safety razor in hot water, and then personally, I flip it often. I'm trying to keep this clear so that the camera can see. I flip it often because what happens is coarse hairs will get stuck in there, and then you're dragging that against the skin, and it's like sandpaper. It's a good idea to stretch the skin tight. I know I probably look like a retard doing this, but I don't care. This is what I do. This is how I really do it. Around the mouth. So when I first started shaving with this thing, I'm gonna be real careful in there. I've cut myself many times underneath the nose and it bleeds bad. When I first started shaving with a safety razor, I was still getting razor burn. Part of it was because I was doing it before a hot shower and wasn't using a badger brush. And I was also lathering up the whole face. By the time I got, because it takes longer to shave with a safety razor, you gotta be more careful. By the time I got down here, it was dry and not steamy anymore. And when that happens, you're kind of screwed. So I'm going to rinse a little bit. Hot water, and then I'm going to put hot water on the next section that I want to shave. It takes a little bit longer to do this, but you'd be amazed at the difference it makes. So that's really hot. I'm also going to take water and dip it on the badger brush. Most people don't talk about this. It re-wets the solution. So it's nice and lathery. And that's it. You just do a little bit at a time, and it makes a world of difference. Make sure that you got hot water over the razor. You'll feel it warm. Or, I'm sorry, you'll feel it be warmer than it was. Rinse it often. Man, I can't talk lately. Rinse it often so you're not dragging cut hairs across your face like sandpaper. It furthers the irritation. So once you get used to this, it really doesn't take me longer, and you definitely get a really close shave with less irritation. And that's it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna wipe this down a little bit. Hot water. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Hot water, really hot water, like almost as hot as you can take it. Drizzle some on the badger brush, re-wet that solution. you can hear it. If it's dry, it doesn't apply like this, and it's not soapy lather. You want it soapy lather. It's a huge, huge difference. Do the exact same thing, flipping often. Hopefully the camera itself is not steaming up. I messed up a little bit doing this because in order to shoot a video for you guys and show you what I do, I had to leave the camera outside of the bathroom when I took a hot steamy shower so that the whole thing didn't fog up. And then, of course, to go out there to get it, I had to both let some of the steam out and also, you know, my face dries out a little bit. It's not as good as if I wasn't doing it with the camera, but it's close enough. So just wipe that down. The reason to wipe in between is so that some of the cut hairs at the base don't end up in the next shave below. So we're just like washing a car. Do the top down, rinse everything down, wet the goatee area, do it that way, same exact thing, more water. Squeeze the brush like this, get into those tight areas and not get it in your mouth. I'm particularly prone to razor burn and breakouts like around the chin area and right here on the neck. For some reason, more so on one side than the other. Make sure and keep that skin tight so you don't cut yourself. Another thing I forgot to mention is the blades. When I first started shaving with a safety razor, I wasn't that impressed. It wasn't until I switched to different blades that, oh, that's a cool look. It would be like a reverse mohawk goatee there. It wasn't until I switched to different blades that everything changed for me. I'm going to do like I said earlier, I need to do a separate video on the equipment that I'm using now, because the stuff that I'm using now, and forgive me, I know this video is bad because I stopped talking, but I'm not willing to cut myself all over the place just because I'm talking. I usually do this alone and I'm just like, you know, to keep the skin tight and to, I bet you'd like to see me do that again, huh? See, and when you see it getting like that and patchy, just re-wet it. Nice hot water. Cup it. Redo it. And then hit it again. And that's that. We'll just rinse that, and then in my opinion, it's the most important part of doing this, and that's the neck. So what I'm doing down there that you can't see off camera is I'm cupping water and I'm just doing this over and over so it's nice and hot. The hotter the better, the more your pores will open up, and less irritation you'll get. We're going to take a lot more water and dip on the badger brush, get nice and lathery to where it's thinner, hotter, easier to work in between those hairs. And keep going. See, normally by the time we get to this spot, the skin is cold, the lather's getting dry, and you've got a lot of coarseness or coarse leftovers built up in the blade. And you're dragging it across the skin. And the sensitive areas of the neck down below are very tender. And if you can imagine dragging sandpaper across your face, probably wouldn't give you the result you're looking for, would it? Nice clean shave. We'll just do a little rinse. See what she looks like. Sometimes you miss some patches here. Like right there. Sometimes I'll just gently clean those up. I've got some wonky hair growth on my chin. For some reason, it grows different ways and all this kind of jazz. Some people recommend going against the grain, but it doesn't work for me. So I just check it, go back and clean it up. Next thing is straight cold water. Cold, cold, cold. Rinse the whole face off real good. Cold water. Prep it for the final step. This is nothing new, but a lot of people don't know about it. It's a, I don't remember what it's called. I want to say potassium block, but I don't think that's correct. It's basically just a shaving block, right? And all we're going to do is wet it in the cold water. Make sure that the face is super washed off. Make it a mess, but hopefully you can see it. All cold water. Wet the shaving block where it's dripping. Make sure there's a smooth side. Sometimes when it dries, it gets jagged edges that you can probably see. And then just buff the face. Buff the face with it. If you feel burning or tingling sensation, that's normal. It's sealing the cuts and nicks. Help close the pores with the cold water. Do it in the neck. Burns a little bit, that's normal. It's like using an aftershave. All natural. And then that's it. A lot of people leave this on and let it dry. I turn on the cold water and wash it off right away because it develops like a sticky white film. And I find that I still get the benefit even if I wash it off right away. I don't like that white film to dry, like it drips down on my chest, especially the position that I'm in doing this video. And that's it. I'll do a separate video about the shaving cream and the Jagger, Edwin Jagger, I think. Wasn't sure if it was a Merkur or this is a Jagger. The biggest thing is not the razor, it's the blades. And I'll do a comparison on those and what difference it makes. Make sure and wash out your brush. I don't use a shaving bowl, so this will automatically dry. I just put the lid back on, and that's Perazzo. We'll compare a couple different shaving creams that I like, but again, the number one thing for shaving like this is the blade. Blade makes a huge, huge difference. And I hope that helps. This is what I've been able to do for myself too. You see how I have a little red irritation here? This isn't bad compared to like looking like blotchy, almost like sun blisters, shaving incorrectly. So hope that helps. If you want me to make any more videos showing different methods, let me know in the comments.